Hi, everybody. Today we've got a hypothetical 2024 presidential matchup. This time for the Democrats, it's going to be former governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe. And for the Republicans, it's going to be Donald Trump. And this was suggested to me in the comments. As always, I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker, and I'm going to fill out the map with the obvious safe states. As usual, in the end, it's going to come down to the same handful of states. Now, in previous videos, I've already said everything I could say about Donald Trump. To make it simple, he animates a lot of voters to come out for him and against him. And I don't know exactly what the environment would be next year. If it was today, Trump would probably win. But I'm trying to project ahead, and there's a lot of unknowns, especially with Trump's trials. Now, Terry McAuliffe, he's pretty much pure establishment for the Democrats. He was governor of Virginia, but he lost when he ran for a second time in 2021 against Glenn Youngkin. In that election, I actually thought McAuliffe was going to come out ahead with about a 1-point win. Youngkin actually won that by a couple of points. But as I said, McAuliffe has a lot of establishment ties. He would get a ton of funding. I always hear he's known for his retail politics. He has charisma. He's good at shaking hands and interacting with voters on the ground floor. So that kind of thing is going to have some value. So all the safe states are pretty much the same as expected. There's one state left I'm going to put as safe. That is actually going to be Virginia. Now that's McAuliffe's home state. In 2020, Trump did lose it by double digits. I could only imagine that with McAuliffe on the ballot, Northern Virginia is going to come out huge for him, and he would also carry the state by double digits. Now, if we start filling out the rest of these states, let's start in the Northeast. I'm going to knock off Maine at large. That's going to be likely for McAuliffe. However, the second district is going to go likely for Trump. That district in Maine has warmed up to the Trump brand. Maybe Trump even carries it by 10, but we're going to say it's high single digits. Let's go next door to New Hampshire. That is also going to be over 5 points and likely for McAuliffe. Trump almost carried the state in 2016, but assuming this is just a head-to-head matchup without a lot of third-party vote, I think McAuliffe would win it by over 5. Let's keep going, but stop off in the Midwest at Minnesota. McAuliffe is also going to get that by over 5. Maybe Trump can't compete in this state of the future. It does have similarities with its neighbor Wisconsin. It just hasn't moved that much to the right yet on a statewide level. The last likely state for the Democrats is going to be New Mexico. That could even go safe, but assuming inflation and the economy is not great, I'll say that dips down into high single digits. Now the other likely states for the Republicans, we've got Iowa and Ohio. Those will probably also be high single digits. The next state is going to be Texas, and I think even considering the trends, Trump seems likely to win this by at least 5 points. There's no guarantees, but the border issue, I don't think that's going to play well in South Texas, so Trump gets that likely. Also, we're going to do Trump's home state of Florida. Trump is going to get it by over 5. Now let's go down to the lean states. I actually do not have any leans on this map except for Nebraska's second. That one I think McAuliffe would get by a few points. So we've got a bunch of states left, and I have all of those at tilt margins. That's at about 1 point or less. We'll start in Nevada. I do want to see which way this state is going to trend on a presidential level, but I do think McAuliffe is going to do well enough in Clark County. I think he would win Washoe. Trump is going to come up short. McAuliffe gets it by a tilt. Next door to Arizona. Again, this is a tough call. It's moved away from the Republicans, especially Trump-style Republicans, but I do think the border is an issue. That I think could be enough to get Trump over the edge, and he's going to get that by a tilt margin. Let's go all the way to North Carolina. Trump got this very narrowly last time. It does border Virginia. It's possible that could help McAuliffe very slightly. I do think McAuliffe would do well enough in the South, but I think Trump is going to be able to hold the state and still carry it by a tilt margin. If we go down to Georgia, I think that is going to be the opposite case. The Atlanta suburbs are going to be more open to McAuliffe, and considering those trends, he's going to get it by a tilt margin. Let's jump up to Wisconsin. That's a state I think Trump has a little bit room to expand in the driftless area. McAuliffe is probably going to do a little bit better in the suburbs, so it's a tough call. In the midterms last time, they elected a Democrat for governor and a Republican for U.S. Senate. It could go either way. For right now, I'm going to give this to Trump by a tilt margin. The last two states, Michigan and Pennsylvania, I have those both at tilt margins, both for Terry McAuliffe. I think the union support in those states is going to have more ties to the Democratic establishment. That's going to be McAuliffe. Trump is going to do well in the counties he needs to, but I'm going to say the suburbs and independents give McAuliffe a slight win. So the final total is one we've had a lot of times before, 282 for Terry McAuliffe, 256 for Trump. McAuliffe wins it, but we've got a lot of states here at tilt margins. That means it would come down to pretty much what happens at the time of the election. If the inflation win stays this high, then I could see Trump winning it. But if Trump picks some sort of a bad running mate, that could keep McAuliffe with the edge. So like with a lot of these hypotheticals, you could go on and on about it. You could focus on different issues. You could say this is going to happen or that's not going to happen. You could project the turnout in a number of different ways. I get it. Trump could win. I think the slight edge goes to McAuliffe, but it is up for debate. This is what I came up with right now. Let me know in the comments, what do you think would happen? Does McAuliffe have the right personality and ties with the establishment to be able to win in the key states? Or is he damaged goods? Trump would overcome his baggage and voters would be sentimental toward his economy pre-COVID, and he would come out with the win. Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.